Hi. Let's learn about consumer surplus. Consumer surplus is when consumers pay less for a product or service than what they are willing to pay. It's like getting a good deal and feeling good about it. The concept of consumer surplus was developed in 1844 to measure the social benefits of public goods such as national highways, canals, and bridges. It has been an important tool in the field of welfare economics and the formulation of tax policies by governments. Consumer surplus is based on the economic theory of marginal utility, which is the additional satisfaction a consumer gains from one more unit of a good or service. The utility a good or service provides varies from individual to individual based on their personal preference. The demand curve is a graphic representation used to calculate consumer surplus. It shows the relationship between the price of a product and the quantity of the product demanded at that price, with the price drawn on the y-axis of the graph and the quantity demanded drawn on the x-axis. Consumer surplus is measured as the area below the downward-sloping demand curve, or the amount a consumer is willing to spend for given quantities of a good, and above the actual market price of the good, depicted with a horizontal line drawn between the y-axis and demand curve. Consumer surplus can be calculated on either an individual or aggregate basis, depending on if the demand curve is individual or aggregated. Consumer surplus is the benefit or good feeling of getting a good deal. For example, let's say that you bought an airline ticket for a flight to Disney World during school vacation week for $100, but you were expecting and willing to pay $300 for one ticket. The $200 represents your consumer surplus. However, businesses know how to turn consumer surplus into producer surplus or for their gain. In our example, let's say the airline realizes your surplus and as the calendar draws near to school vacation week raises its ticket prices to $300 each. A high consumer surplus means that goods are priced quite a bit lower in the market than where consumers would ultimately be willing to pay. This is often the result of a high degree of competition, technological progress, and producer efficiency. In general, all of these things are considered to be good for promoting economic growth and prosperity. Here are 3 key takeaways. 1. A consumer surplus happens when the price consumers pay for a product or service is less than the price they're willing to pay. 2. Consumer surplus is based on the economic theory of marginal utility, which is the additional satisfaction a consumer gains from one more unit of a good or service. 3. Consumer surplus always increases as the price of a good falls and decreases as the price of a good rises. Hope this would help. Thanks for watching.